Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. Trevor Plouffe is in the studio. 5 trades happened and a couple big series. Players only. Hello and welcome to Talking, no G on the end, Talking Baseball. Myself, Jake Storielli, Davis Mendelson on the ones and twos. I had a laugh the other day. I called you Big Baby David, and someone said, I didn't know that's what BBD stood for.
Every now and then,
that hasn't been,
like, what does that stand
That hasn't been used as much as it used to be. And more importantly than all of that, in the big city, sun goes down. That city stink that's going on right now because it's 95 degrees. Nothing better when that enters Trevor Plouffe's nostrils.
I love the Big Apple. Is that what they call it? Why do they call it the Big Apple? But I do love it here, man. Saw Lion King last night.
Yep.
Got some late night Chinese food delivered to the hotel. Like, I'm living it up right now, dude. I'm excited to talk ball. There has been trades. There's been good baseball being played. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite sitcoms of all time today.
Wow.
But BBD to me means big, big dong.
And that's true. And
So,
some people know it as that.
Yeah.
And some people know it as that, which we won't argue.
How about this one, though?
Oh, I got the cap gun out. Trev, it's a little bit of a different episode. We got some trades, so we're going to hit on those. Like, if we just peeling back the curtains, because you guys like that, if we save the Jorge Lopez Dylan Floro trade for Monday or Tuesday, I think it's already going to be gone by the wayside. If we don't talk about Johnny Severino to the Pirates today, we might never talk about him again until he's an all-star, and I'm sure Johnny Severino is going to be great. Trev, let's get into it. And speaking of, big weekend, PPV.com, pay-per-view, Trev.
Dan Canobio.
Tomorrow night, Saturday, July 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Should I start doing some voiceover stuff?
Absolutely
No, it
not.
sounds whiny. Voice sounds
It's
whiny.
not about when you do it.
Yeah.
It's from here, not from here.
Spence Crawford.
There you go. Better.
That's not
These
bad.
two fighters have been waiting to get at. I got nothing. Because you know why? Because I'm not our boxing guy. Dan Canobio is, along with Chris Algieri. And you can interact. You can interact with those guys during the fight, and ppv.com is the only place you can do that. Go yuck it up with them and legendary boxing writer Lance Pugmire, my guy. Get in the chat, have some fun with them. Also, Canobio and Algieri made some really cool videos together about each guy's fighting style. They're actually in the ring, like explaining what they're trying to set each other up for. Really cool stuff. So watch the fight tomorrow night at ppv.com. Stream it wherever. You can order it now. A little John Boy Media stuff. Our tech guy, Mike, really excited for the fight. Asked if we want to get together. I was like, I'm kind of interested. We haven't done that yet. But Jess is coming in on a little vacation. We'll see. But you can watch the fight. Click the link. It's one of the big ones. Spence Crawford. Speaking of big ones.
Here we go, Poppy.
Let's hit a big guy, a John Boy Media guy, a Trevor Plouffe guy. Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez. Don't forget that part of the trade. To the Halos. Prospect Edgar Quero. Do I need to roll that a little more? Quero?
Yeah, there you go.
Edgar Quero.
That was nice.
That felt nice. And Kai Bush. Go to the White Sox. Quero. That sounds really white when I say it. He's like a real prospect, and we'll touch on that a little bit. Like, let's be honest, nobody knows anything about prospects. But we know Lucas Giolito, and we know Reynaldo Lopez, and more importantly, everyone thought they were going to L.A. Nobody really threw out the Halos because we got all horned up about them trading away Shohei. They said they're not trading him. And they go and they grab two of the better arms that will be traded for at this deadline, starting pitcher and reliever, in my opinion.
Yeah, this was something that they've been traded together before, Lucas and Ronaldo. So this is something that they're just
funny,
used to,
man.
I guess. But this was something that people had been talking about, like a package deal, because a lot of these teams that are looking for pitching, it's like, okay, well, we love a starter. We need a reliever. Let's get them both together. But to be honest with you, I think the overall thing for me here is, and you could talk about the Angels getting up their 2 and 3 prospects when people think they should have traded Shohei to bring in more prospects. They're losing prospects now. And if you listen to Baseball Today yesterday, I talked about this. I think this was the best move for the Angels for a couple different reasons. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me there. But there are just times, in a franchise's history or in an owner's tenure that you got to go for it and you got to take risks. And what better time to save face and to get a little bit of positive PR than when you have the best player that's ever played the game about to leave your team.
Yeah.
And you say, no, we're not going to give this guy up. I mean, I know that Angels fans had been ready to lose Shohei for quite some time because we've been talking about it forever. Buster Olney's in the freaking dugout during a game asking the manager about it, for God's sake. Still unprofessional,
Let it go,
Buster.
Trev. Let it go.
Sheesh.
Don't
hate your
that.
producer too, whoever that guy is.
No,
I hate that guy.
We like them.
Whatever.
I like both of them.
People have been ready for Shohei to leave. Now all of a sudden, not only is Shohei staying and going to chase the American League home run record, or
thank you,
going to chase a playoff spot, but you're bringing in Lucas Giolito and a baller reliever to go with your team to make them better, to reinforce your chances. So I think when you really sit down and put yourself in Artie Moreno's shoes, and definitely Perry I fuck his name up every time. Manassian. I'm sorry, Perry. I mean, I don't mean to. I just fuck it up all the time.
Cuero.
If you really sit down and think about the situation from their aspect, this is the move. You don't just trade this guy away and then live in infamy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm trying to say.
In person today.
Take a sip of coffee.
I need a sip of coffee. You guys know what I actually need. That's just not going to happen for me this trip.
No, we got a couple hours.
But you know what I'm trying to say? You sit down, it's we want to make good with our fan base. We want to reward them. And this is what you do, man. Sometimes you have to take chances like this to put yourself in a good position. And like I said, if there was a case where Shohei went to the front office and said, guys, I'm not coming back here, then I think they probably trade him. Now, I'm sure Shohei is going to do his due diligence. He's going to test free agency. He's going to listen to all the offers. But there's still a chance that he comes back to the Angels. That's not a non-zero. Or that is an, oh my gosh. I'm all over the place.
I'll get going.
You talk
because a lot of what you're and pass it back.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, a lot of what you're saying is right. Because it's easy for us from the outside. Like Chris Rose, we do our trade draft. He starts with Shohei. I think he wanted to click a little bit, and I respect the hell out of Chris Rose for that.
He's a big click guy now.
But we from the outside, we're like, well, they're the Angels, right? They've got this, they kind of have a track record of non-success, and a lot of, if you're a generic baseball population, if the Angels have come up in the past decade, it's haven't gotten to the playoffs. Mike Trout hasn't won a playoff game. Him and Pujols, they couldn't, 2 all-time greats. And now Ohtani's there. And they're trailing. Hey, they have had a little hot streak coming out of this. And if you believe in momentum and we're not trading Shohei and, the I'm not fucking leaving gif. If that energy is in the Angels clubhouse right now.
It is. 100%
that's awesome.
it is.
That's awesome because we talk about that a lot. Every deadline, if you trade for a guy and that the front office tells you, let's go. I'm in. You guys said you needed a starting pitcher. Here's a starting pitcher. Now go. Like there's no other excuses. They're 54-49 right now. They're 6 games back of the division, which I know that hasn't even seemed in play because we've been, kind of obsessed with the Rangers start, which has slowed down in a big way. The Astros are there, and they're obviously going to live in our heads. Like, I see on Fangraphs right now, it says 75% to make the playoffs. All of us have that at 100%. Yeah. So the problem is, this is awesome for the Angels. They're empowering it. And you're right, man. I've been saying it a lot, and I try to put myself in other people's shoes best I can. If you're the GM and the owner, the analytics team, if you're everyone with the Angels, to trade away Shohei,
for what? That's the thing. What the hell are you going to get that's going to make up for that?
Your hand would literally have to be forced. Like if they had just lost, 6 out of 7, and it really would be done.
I honestly, sitting back now, I don't think so.
If you're double-digit games back, it's over. It's over.
It depends, because this is the way I look at it. When you have Shohei, people are still going to come see Shohei. He still has, I don't know how many homers he has now. It's a lot. And, is he on pace still to break 62? I don't know.
Close.
It's close, right? I don't think there was a package out there that was enough for them to be the ownership in the front office to trade this guy. We get in our heads and say, oh, we'd love to see Shohei go here. We'd love to see Shohei go there. But really, if you have that item that you cherish so much that everybody wants, why give it up? For what, dude?
Yeah.
For what? A couple prospects that may or may not give you a couple wins in the next 3 years or something. Like that doesn't make any sense when you really sit down and think about it.
If you're actually a front office and if their hand,
you know what? I need 3 first-round draft picks.
If their hand was actually forced, if they were double-digit games back in the division and 8 in the wild card, and their hand was truly forced, I think again getting into that GM mindset. If you
see what's out there,
Perry Manassian. You then do have to think about the future. We are not making the playoffs this year. I have one of the most valuable assets of all time. I need to get something for next year so I'm not remembered as the guy that was a GM and couldn't win with Trout and Ohtani. You need to go there.
I don't think it saves face, bro. It doesn't matter who you get. You better scoop up Fernando Tatis Jr. in your trade.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You never know. And
I don't know.
Let's get back into Lucas Giolito and what he does.
Hold on. So I want to talk about you talked about the impact on the clubhouse, right? Which I believe is a huge thing here.
Yeah.
You're sitting neutral, right? On one end, you lose Shohei Ohtani. Mike Trout probably then says,
trade me to the fucking Phillies.
No, he's going to say, I'm going to just wait on my rehab assignment. I'm going to hang a little bit more. You lose Shohei. You essentially just give up on the season. Now you're sitting at the end of July. You still have August and September where you're like, we're not going to do anything. We've given up. That's on one side, where it's a miserable last 2 months of baseball where you're playing for yourself. You're making sure that you get your money in ARB, and it's a miserable time. It becomes a job at that point where it's like, I'm just showing up for me.
Right.
On the other hand, you keep Shohei, you get Lucas Giolito, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's time. Let's fucking do this. It's so different. And I'm so happy for those guys in that clubhouse that they get to experience now these next couple of months and play real ball, go about their business just trying to win baseball games with some reinforcements. The glue guys are there, and Eddie and Mike, Eddie Escobar and Mike Moustakas.
Clubhouse leader Mike Moustakas. Mike Trout's got to be fired up. I'm envisioning, dude. Let's just take a trip into the future, which there is no future or past, people. We know that. let's just take a trip into the future a little bit, right? It's September 27th. Okay.
Mike Trout hits a homer.
40-23.
The fire goes off in Anaheim.
Yes.
Right?
Rally
into
monkeys
the fucking
back.
rocks.
Yeah.
Right? Ties the game up. Shohei Ohtani comes up. Hits a fucking walk-off homer to send them to the postseason. Mike Trout's shirt comes off on the field.
Yeah.
Shohei takes his shirt off on the field. And then you imagine the rest.
Wow.
Champagne.
Powerful.
Goggles.
Yes.
Touching. Lord knows what would happen, but I'm envisioning that for Angels fans.
It would be incredible, and it. I'm still envisioning it. Rotation: Shohei Ohtani, Patrick Sandoval, Lucas Giolito, Reed Detmers.
Yes,
and then they have Tyler Anderson and Griff Canning back there, who have each given some pretty good efforts at different points. So you've got 6 guys that okay. I mean, you even have a playoff rotation there. Shohei, Sandoval, Giolito, or Detmers. That ain't bad.
Detmers can get hot and be incredible.
Detmers is, before Giolito was probably their second best starter this season. Get Mike Trout back. Reynaldo Lopez, look at his last year. 2.76 ERA, 65.1 innings. He had a 1.93 FIP last year. He's been a little more wild this year, which who knows what that is? Is it luck? Is it maybe?
Well, he started out poorly. Since May 14th on the sheet, 1.75 ERA, 1.48 batting average against. Let's go.
Like, Fangraphs has slotted him in as their second best reliever. So you're adding a dude to your rotation in Lucas Giolito. You're adding potentially a setup, potentially your closer. Like if Estevez is down for a day, you have that kind of guy on the back end. And yeah, man, I wonder if they're going to do more on offense. Like, they have a ton of bodies. Like, now in their lineup, we love your guy Neto, Ohtani, Mickey Moniak is a freak show right now.
Yes.
Taylor Ward, saw him on our potential standout performance. Joey Wendell. Malibu Mike has saved the season. Hunter Renfroe, Trey Cabbage, I bet. Eddie Escobar, like you mentioned. And that's with all these guys on the IL. Rendon, Drury, Mike Trout. So does Ohapi come back? Like, I wonder if offensively they're just going to say, hey, when these guys trickle back, we'll just see what we've got. Or, I don't know. They're already in the lab cooking. Keep going.
They're rumored they're one of the guys rumored for Jamer Candelario.
Sure.
Which is interesting. I think that you can't do this and then not keep going.
Oh, I like that.
Like, you can't. Like,
you already did. Yeah. Don't put the chips in.
Pot committed is a poker term.
Do you still play poker? We used to get a lot of updates on that.
I stopped our Tuesday game.
Yeah.
Because I was getting home too late, and I got to wake up to do our show. Basically, this show has ruined my poker life.
I've ruined your life.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess what is of note, because as I've slaughtered his name, Edgar Cuero.
That was good.
And Kai Bush. What you need to know is Cuero is kind of a real prospect. He was their number 2 prospect in the org. He was top 100. I think he was like in the 60s, depending where you look. Catcher with some decent hitting stats. So this is a rental starting pitcher, rental reliever, both higher end. So I don't know if that sets a market. The other thing that I always think is important, like if you're the front office, you need to be trading for a prospect you like. So if Edgar Cuero is your 65th best prospect in baseball, but you're a front office and you think he's bad, you don't care. Kai Bush, a little bit of a flyer. His stats were pretty bad. He's striking guys out. So some scouts saying something, but I don't know. I guess if you're looking for a market, a top 100-ish prospect, second 50 gets you basically a year of a starter and a reliever. So whatever math you need to do in your head for whatever trades you've been calculating at home for your team, this kind of sets the tone.
I get what you're saying there. And for the Angels, you're giving up your second best prospect as a catcher, but you just traded for Ohapi, so like organizationally it makes sense for you. That's why I don't know what else or who else they have to offer. They might have to give some.
It's a thin farm.
Big league players up to get some more reinforcements, which is fine because you mentioned like they have guys under control there that are on the IL and bodies coming back. So I can't believe that they're done. I'd like to see them make another move, but this was, I mean, honestly, dude, you got to give snaps to the Angels front office and to Artie Moreno. Now that it's all said and done, this makes the most sense to me. Just as when you really think about it from their perspective, instead of your perspective or mine or yours, from their perspective, this made the most sense.
So, just to call ourselves out a little bit, because I obviously like it. The energy of going for it and having Shohei doing what he's doing right now and Trout comes back, all of it. If this, I don't want to say backfires, because you got to play to win, but there's a lot of teams.
Who cares if it backfires? Seriously, who cares?
If the Angels suck for 4 years, the next 4 years.
I still think you look back upon this and we're like, fuck, that was awesome.
Say Edgar Cuero comes up and he's a stud and they could have gotten 3 prospects and I don't know. Are we going to be sitting here saying snaps? You played for keeps and you lost? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Okay. Exactly. I think it doesn't matter what happens with these 2 guys they gave away. It doesn't matter if they make the postseason this year. Clearly they want to do that. That's what everyone wants to see. But the fact that you, for lack of a better term, earmuffs, whipped it out and put it on the table and said, let's go, you got to respect it. How do you not?
I hope you use the same term with Chris Rose on Baseball Today later.
I don't know. We already talked. Did we already talk about this?
I never know.
Yeah, we did.
We
got hot because Chris Rose, by the way, way on the other side.
Yeah, he is.
I root for the Angels. They're my second favorite team in the big leagues, and they needed to get processed. Shut up, Chris Rose.
That Shut Up Chris Rose segment was brought to you by Tommy John. Is everyone wearing Tommy John? I don't want to put you on the spot, Beebs. Me and Trev showed skin earlier.
You guys showed some skin. I have them, saving them. I have a big game tonight.
There's whoa.
Big game undies.
I bet. Damn. Tommy John.
Party of jollies.
They are the best. Yeah, right?
What?
I don't get invited to things anymore.
Yeah. I'm the everyman.
Tommy John. It's the most comfortable undies in the game. I wore them on my wedding day. I'm wearing them right now. I just made them my go-to everyday underwear. I'm taking care of them. I'm a man. I'm 33 years old. If I like something, I'm going to get it. That's where I'm at.
You're bad.
I might crash Jollies tonight.
I'm going too.
Go get yourself.
Get some Modelo's, Jolly.
Some Tommy John underwear. What I just
think
did.
I'm overstating party.
I've had the one. I've had the one pair that I've been like, I like these. This is how deep I am.
Wait. You have what?
So I had one pair of Tommy Johns, and that was my every week do the laundry. When am I wearing my Tommy Johns? Now I just ordered a sampler of Tommy John because I'm like, I really like those, but what if there's other Tommy John I like even more? And then I'm kind of right now I'm having tryouts, and I think I'm gonna settle on 1 or 2 pairs. Like maybe when I'm being athletic, I like a different pair of Tommy Johns.
Interesting.
Maybe if I'm going out, I like a different. So right now this is how much I like this shit, people. So you can go try it out, and you'll get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/talkin. 20% off TommyJohn.com/talkin. Trev, you have your hand raised.
So I have like the boxer brief Tommy Johns. That's all I wear.
Right.
I need some support to hold it in.
Oh, I know.
I like the pouch. I never used the pouch in other.
The pouch is kind of game changing.
I'm in.
When we've got an actual usable pouch.
Kind of feels good to.
Yeah.
I think that's easily the biggest trade. We have a fun. Now we have like.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yankees have announced an outfielder move. They DFA'd Willie Calhoun.
No. Your guy.
Shout out Willie. Who came up?
Willie came up and then they DFA'd him. They activated him from the IL. DFA'd.
Oh, I didn't know you had to do that.
So do they need to do a 40-man move?
I don't know. They open up a 40-man spot.
Okay.
Though.
Aaron Judge?
I think Judge is still 15 or 10 days.
I never put him on the 60-day. Interesting.
No.
I don't think he ever 60-dayed.
No need.
Judge later, though.
Anyways, we have okay, so we've got like true rental, Carlos Santana. We'll get there. We have some of these MLB shake-up moves that we've been talking about. Syndergaard for Amed Rosario. I mean, go look at those guys' best seasons, and that's a fun one. Right now, they're not having that. And then Jorge Lopez and Floro is a funny shake-up trade, too. Let's do Syndergaard and Rosario first. Both are expiring contracts, so that lines up. And then, Rosario, I guess this one turned my head because I saw he was an expiring the other day, and you're like, wait, he's so young, but he got called up early.
Yeah.
And then Syndergaard kind of was put in timeout by himself and the Dodgers a little bit. And he, what was his quote? Like he would trade his first kid to pitch better this year or something.
He clearly doesn't have kids, but
so these guys trading places, and the Dodgers, they got Kike as
no
well.
one loves the game that much. I mean, just tell you this right now. Okay, maybe Derek Jeter would trade his kids, but that's about it.
No. What do you have here, Trev?
Yeah, it's a change of scenery type thing for the Dodgers. Syndergaard wasn't going to get back in the rotation, and I think with the Guardians, they are one of those teams that has young pitchers on innings limits. So they're looking for a guy to eat innings towards the end of the year. To me, and we had this talk yesterday too with Chris Rose, like that signifies, like when you have guys on innings limits like they do, they're going to have to come eventually. That's giving up on your season, dude. It just doesn't make sense to me. And we could get into that, and you should have these guys that have innings limits start spring training in May or something. I don't know, because what message does that send to the clubhouse, dude?
Yeah.
I can't stand it, but that's neither here nor there. So Syndergaard's going to go there. He'll eat some innings for them. Whether that is him piggybacking with guys, if he gets some starts, whatever it is. And then Amed Rosario, him leaving allows the Guardians to, kind of have open tryouts at shortstop. They have a bunch of guys that are ready, and they're trying to decide who's going to be their guy going forward. For the Dodgers, I think it's a bench piece. He can hit lefties a little bit. Like the whole Kike, him, and Miguel Rojas situation is interesting to me. Miggy's clearly the best defensively. The other two guys can hit a little bit better, but probably don't want him out at shortstop. Rosario's numbers are really, really, really bad this year. And apparently Chris Rose says the eye test is the same.
Defensively,
yeah. So I think it's a change of scenery. I said yesterday it allows Mookie to go back into the outfield, and then like on days they face a lefty, Peralta or Hayward won't have to face the lefty, essentially. Right. So there's some sort of roster stuff there. I don't think it's a game changer really for either. It's just more like roster flexibility.
Yeah, I think if you're the Dodgers, you're a little more excited than the Guardians, because you're right what you're saying for Cleveland. It feels like we should have some more advanced, we have so much sports science now that when we talk inning limits and stuff, these guys are some of the youngest, healthiest, strongest people we got. Just to say 125 this year, kid. It does feel like there should be, run some tests. I don't know. Syndergaard did the same thing last year. He went over to the Phillies. He threw basically at a league average, 97 ERA plus, 53 innings. Those are important.
Yeah, they would take that in a heartbeat.
That's important. Innings are important. We've talked about that with the Rays formula for the past couple of years and stuff like that. So that's what's going on there. Also, another good pitching org for Syndergaard. We said that when he was with the Dodgers, so maybe there's something they think they can tap into a little more with him. Rosario, last year he was a 4-WAR player. He was one of their most consistent hitters, and I'm interested to see the rest of the Dodgers' moves, because are they just going to go, people have been telling us that they think the Dodgers are going to make a starting pitcher splash. They just traded away a guy. I know Syndergaard hadn't been good for them, but what does that mean for their starting pitching moves? And then offensively, I know can't compare every team to this, but it feels a little depending what the Dodgers do offensively, little 21 Braves. Okay, we're bringing in Kike, we're bringing in Rosario. If they bring in something else, could Kike Hernandez or Amed Rosario have a great 2 months? Yeah.
Sure.
Could they not? Yes. I mean, kind of story of baseball, right? So I like it for the Dodgers. They're giving themselves more options where the Guardians are truly looking to eat innings, which isn't exciting, but
They're like if 2 games back of the Twins in the Central, dude.
But yeah,
I know this doesn't affect them really. Like, so this trade doesn't change their outlook to me on like if they're going to win the Central or not. I still think they're going to give the Twins a run just because the Twins aren't going to run away with it. Doesn't seem like to me. Right. The thing that gets me more is the innings limits. When you start getting there, and all of a sudden your 3/5 of your starting staff is on innings limits, and all of a sudden you're like, well, what do we do? Expanded rosters in September now doesn't really cover that.
Yeah.
So it's,
I mean,
that's going to be the story of the AL Central to me in September is when do they shut these guys down? Are they going to start, or do you start pulling them after 4 innings and doing the piggyback situation now? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if they make the playoffs and they have conserved some of these innings and like our guy Tanner Bybee, Issa Bibe, like, you know, if he's been balling lately and if he's more fresh for the playoffs because, you know, Syndergaard saved 12 innings from him, I guess there's some value there, but I don't know. And I think the funny part is like, I think the teams think they know, but I don't think they really know. They're just playing it safe. And I don't know. That's crazy though. I mean, Rosario to trade, he's been their everyday shortstop.
But they just want to get a look at those other guys. So I think for the Dodgers, they don't seem done. There's rumors about Arenado, which would be crazy.
Why not?
Yeah, honestly, why not? Like he's under control. You're gonna have to give up like one of your guys, Grove, Miller,
Snack Flaherty on the way over too.
Him and yeah, that's a big possibility. They have to give up one of those guys. They obviously have the farm system to do it as well. Think about Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Nolan Arenado, JD Martinez.
I mean, it sounded
Max
like
Muncy.
It sounds like if you told me that
sounds right.
If you told me that was Team USA's WBC roster, I'd be like, oh,
Freddie,
they're nasty.
Play for the States, bro. You're from California.
You're not fooling us, Fred.
No, he loves his parents.
If you heard a little groan I made when we were talking about that fake
Canada.
trade,
Canada.
It was Jack Flaherty's first pregame outfit showing up to Dodger Stadium. Oh my God. Oh my God. He might wear that see-through shirt you were wearing the other day.
I don't think Jack could pull that off, but it takes a special guy.
Don't even.
Freddie Freeman.
Okay.
Backtracking a little bit. Love that you're on Team Canada because you helped out my guy, Eddie Julian. So.
Oh, my God. Speaking of your team, Jorge Lopez and Dylan Floro to the Twins. A little relief pitcher swap. Again, this is what we kind of thought this deadline was going to be building up to. Trev, I'm excited to get your insight. Because I saw Jorge Lopez break out for the Orioles last year, and it was sick. And the story was sick. He was begging to be a relief pitcher, which kind of felt bizarre. And then during Orioles' kind of magic season last year, he was doing everything you love from a player. Like they said he was showing up to Hyde's office like every day and being like, I'm good if you need me. Like he was all in. His stuff was electric and gross. Trev, it sounds like, and the stats have shown that that hasn't been the case. Floro was closing a little bit in May for the Fish. He's been a reliever that's been around for a while, so I don't know. Is this just kind of shake-up season? The Marlins think they see something in Lopez. The Twins think they see something in Floro. I think Floro is a free agent. Lopez
one more year.
Has one more year
in RBS.
So the Marlins are kind of playing that game too. I don't know. What else do you have for that?
I think it's a change of scenery thing. You know, Lopez went on the mental health IL this year. So I don't want to say he struggled with that in Minnesota. The results haven't been, what you'd want there. And sometimes, I think if you're a team and you're not going to be putting him in these situations that you thought you would be putting him in, high leverage type stuff, if you can give him a chance to go somewhere else and let him flourish, I think it's the right thing to do at sometimes. And then, you get a guy back who, Floro, his numbers aren't great, but some of the peripherals are there. And I think every front office thinks they can do something different. They see this, they see that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I'm not going to say all the time, because I think it's a little bit overstated about the change of scenery thing. Because guess what, man? Most organizations are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Kind of are. And, you still have to pitch yourself. It's not like you go to a new organization and you're just a different person. The vibes you might perk up a little bit putting a new uniform on. And I don't know. I think it's a straight change of scenery thing. We'll try to tinker here, try to tinker there.
Yeah, like you said with Floro, the FIP is really good if you're into that kind of thing. And I need to put a little more respect. His last 3 years, man, 149 games, 142 innings, a 2.85 ERA. Dude, that's 1 year with the Dodgers, then he got traded to the Fish for the last 2 years. Racked up double-digit saves the past 2 years. This guy has a cleaner track record than Lopez. Lopez just had that breakout, and now it's coming back. And, yeah, if you look at the Baseball Savant, there's a couple things, a few things that don't look great there. I do love the fit with Miami, not to be rude to Minnesota, but if you remember, I believe Jorge Lopez was on Team Puerto Rico. I think he had the hair dyed. I could see him getting a little Miami juice. And they also just got a little bit more love on their back end. David Robertson, your guy, best contract of the offseason, he's going to Miami. So, Marlins are in?
Yeah, I think they've been in. They've been trying to make some trades. I know they've had a bunch of blown saves this month, which typically we know how they play in one-run games. You're starting to blow saves. That kind of takes away from your magic a little bit. So Kim Ng's like, you know what? Let's get that yoked up Alabama dude down here to Miami. That's how you say his name, David Robertson.
Dave Robertson. Hey, is David Robertson still pitching?
Yeah, he's still pitching. He yoked up. Jake Storiale saw him getting out of the shower.
Really impressive core.
We always say that about him.
Don't know.
No, this is interesting, though, right? The Marlins to us, they've been kind of floundering. That's a good pun right there.
Oh, no.
And we think on the outside, hey, Marlins, you got to get some offense. Let's go look. They're another team that's been rumored to be in on Jeimer Candelario, which would be interesting for them, probably a more logical fit. But, you got to shore up the back end of a bullpen if you're not happy with what you got going on there. And I think Dave Robertson's the perfect person to do it. To me, this more signifies the Mets saying, and Jerry Blevins tweeted it out last night. And Jerry Blevins, if he says something, I'm a-listening.
You listen.
He said white flag.
Oh, yeah.
Mets have waived it. So now what happens with the Mets? And it's crazy to me, man. And I'm not, Jerry's way more plugged in on the Mets than I am. I'm not so sold on the white flag waving, but this is it, right? If you're trading your guy that's closing games for you, it's kind of a white flag. And this is a team that a lot of people had in the deep into the playoffs. It just hasn't worked.
Man, and it's, looking at their upcoming games, their projected starting pitchers, Scherzer, Carrasco, Verlander, Quintana, Senga. It feels like, in a way, it felt like the Mets just got to this point. But at the same time, and Mark Canha came out with the quote, never shy with the quote. He was like, well, we should have played better earlier. If we
They're 17 games back.
If we didn't want David Robertson to be traded, we should have played better. And he's not wrong.
They have the third worst record in the National League. Actually, that's not true. They're 7 games back of the wild card, 17 games back of the division. They're only, it's.
I think what's going to be interesting, because you can trade D-Rob, and by the way, that bullpen's felt thin all year. Obviously, the Edwin Diaz injury before the season, which is just crazy to think about how far we've come from that. This is some deep-cut Jake BS, but I thought Montez de Oco was going to be gross for them. He gets TJ. It's how hard do they sell? Like, we've started to see Verlander rumors now. We're seeing Scherzer rumors. Like Adam Ottavino's back there. Brooks Raley. Like, a lot of their guys on offense. We've talked corner outfielders. If you want to get crazy and make Mets fans mad, you can talk about Alonso with a year and a half left. How deep does this sell go? Like, are they going to still leave a roster on the field that you said 7 games back of the wild card? Are they still going to leave a roster on the field that we're going to keep talking about them and be like, hey, the Mets are 3.5 out of the wild card? Like that, I guess that's what I'm curious about, because let's say if they don't sell a lot more, like let's say they sell a Tommy Pham or Marcana because they have some corner outfield depth, that lineup and rotation still looks like what the Mets thought they were going to have this year.
Yeah, I mean, Francisco Alvarez is young, so he's going to be there. Jeff McNeil signed a contract. Francisco Lindor signed a contract.
Nimmo.
Brett Beatty is young. He'll be there. Nimmo signed a contract.
Lindor's there forever.
So I misspoke a little bit about them not too long ago. Mets fans made sure I heard about it when I said I think the Padres have more of a core than the Mets. And we have a core. We have a core. Okay, they do. They have people that are going to be there, people that they believe in that are going to be there for for the foreseeable future. So if you're selling, if you sell Verlander and Scherzer, to me that means you kind of give up on next year as well.
Really?
Unless you go back out into free agency and buy some pitching,
right?
Which
they could,
which they could. There are some people that are going to be available, but then you're kind of back to the same point that you were.
I'll tell you what would be a weird feeling. They've got 3 with the Nats, 3 with Kansas City. If they win 5 or 6, God, that D-Rob trade would eat at me a little bit as a Mets fan. Just a little bit.
If Jolly invited us to his fucking party,
Yeah.
I'd call him right now and ask him what he felt about that trade, but I'm not going to.
Fuck that. Marlins. Check out that.
Zach and I are going over there.
I've got one thing that's been shaking me up. I click around Fangraphs a lot. I keep getting this brassiere advertisement. It's just ladies in bras, and I just come on.
Straight
I can't.
to Fangraphs?
Algorithm knows what you like.
Where is that ad?
I'm trying to get some work done. Look at it. I mean, this is.
I don't get those ads, bro.
I can't.
My ad right now is Hershey's chocolate syrup
I love the algorithm.
and baby lotion. Oh my.
Marlins retooled back of the pen. Let's see what they do for the lineup. The last, D-Rob, hot. Santana to the Brewers. I teased it at the beginning with 18-year-old Johnny Severino going to Pittsburgh. I don't have much on him. Carlos Santana, we all know. I was surprised to see his defensive stats at first base. He's been one of the best defensive first baseman. I didn't think my 37-year-old Carlos Santana was doing that. We saw his one dance when he hit the walk-off this year. That was against the Brewers. Yeah. And I think, hey, this is true trade deadline. Older player, rental, throw him in the fire, sink or swim a little bit. At the same time, I assume that we're sitting here with Milwaukee being like, I hope that's not the move. Mm-hmm. Hey, Carlos Santana, he could give you a stretch, and you could plug and play him 5-6 hole wherever you need him. But is that going to change the Brewers' offense that has been one of the worst in the National League, and yet they're leading the NL Central, where it's like, hey, if the offense can really start clicking, we can start daydreaming of those Brewers that you predicted to win the World Series.
I did not predict him to win the World Series this year.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think this is another roster flexibility move for the Brewers. I think there's a quote out there. The general manager Matt Arnold, he talked about defense is still their number one priority, pitching and defense, dude. So they didn't want to just bring a slugger in. And you mentioned Carlos Santana's stats at first base have been really good defensively. Owen Miller's kind of been over there, and Santana's numbers since June 1st. 244, 319, 470. So you're talking about a high 7s OPS right there, which is nice. And he puts up good at bats. So it allows Owen Miller to go back to utility man. And you have a guy that you can plug in at first base who's been good defensively. He's going to give you good at bats. It makes sense. I agree with you. I'm hoping that there's more offense coming for the Brewers, but that's not their game plan necessarily, right? Like let's chuck the ball, let's catch the ball, and let's let Yelly do his thing a little bit.
Yeah. Free licks.
And Sal
Frelick,
which we'll get into. Are we even going to do our normal show?
I don't know. We got sucked into these trades a little deeper than I thought, but I don't hate it at all. You know what? Go nuts, Carlos Santana. Go Brewers. Anything else on these trades?
There's more coming. I mean, we're going to get passing all weekend long. I'm going to be sitting out there on the beach. Pass.
I can't. You're going to have such a great weekend. There was a couple big series. We'll touch on them quick, and then we're doing some standout and awards. And know what else? Trev, myself, and maybe at this fucking Ripper at Jolly's house, there might be a lot of blue.
You really didn't want me to talk about it.
There might be a lot of blue moons.
If there's blue moons, I'm coming.
That should be the new tagline. There are blue moons, I'm coming.
Say that again?
Is that Dave Robertson pitching? Oh, he's pitching for Miami now.
Oh, they got blue moon down Miami?
I was drinking a blue moon with his father. Blue moon. Playoffs are just around the corner.
With his father?
Wow. Haven't even thought about that yet. What? Trade deadline in the playoff chase.
Why don't you toss me one of those blue moons right now? I'll drink it right now.
They've been there.
I don't think I'm allowed to. I want to.
Yeah, I don't know the rules.
Blue moon. You guys already know. That's the beauty of this. What am I going to tell you? That Valencia orange peel? I will. Slide one of those. The Belgian wheat. What's that say?
Valencia brewed with a Valencia orange peel, obviously.
God.
Get your navel oranges out of here.
Blue moon and baseball. They go together like peas and carrots. And you can have Blue Moon beer. Sometimes I'll head out to a local establishment. Sometimes get it delivered to you at get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Find Blue Moon delivery options. Get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. There's a link in the description. The weekend's coming. Kelsey Wingert's about to announce the start of the weekend. Have yourself a Blue Moon.
Yes.
Trev? Where are we at? Okay, we're 48 minutes in. We broke down.
We have to decide what's going to happen with the rest of this.
Trade.
Yeah, what's happening with the rest of the show? Are you just going to read your burns, and then we get into standout, or?
I say no burns today.
Whoa.
You want the burns?
Whoa.
Wow.
I don't know. No, we don't have to.
There's some series. You just have to be honest. The Treadline season, baseball stock exchange, saw Dalton throw that out. Sink or swim time. These 2.5 weeks, things mean more to different teams. These trades, there was an awesome series in Texas and Houston. I think we talk about that a little bit because it was electric. We had some beanballs come out.
Yeah.
Houston got within a game.
Yep.
And then the Rangers blew them out and got physical. So let's do that. We're going to miss some series. Like KC Cleveland, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
It's not your week.
Shots fired.
Oakland and San Fran. What it matter? So let's hit the big ones, and then we'll give out some standouts and some awards. This IMO was the biggest series. The Astros, they won the first 2 games. 1-run games, each of them. 10-9, 4-3. And then the Rangers, like they can. They put up a big boy.
Are you okay?
I had a little burp there. I don't know.
Just let it out, big fella.
Something came up. And then we've got, your guy Marcus Simeon's getting chirping at Framber. So head into it. What do you got?
Well, I mean, the first game was the Chas McCormick homers off of Aroldis Chapman. And we were talking about this before the show. McCormick's got a little bit of Jose Altuve in his swing. I'm sure there's been that. People have put that together. especially if you're down in Houston watching those two guys go. But we're going to talk about him more in the show later.
Yeah.
But that was the McCormick, and then who hit the walk-off? Am I going crazy here? Did it not have a walk-off?
Diaz.
Yainer Diaz hit the walk-off.
God, he comes up a lot in these.
And then again, the Astros in the second game, they come back and do it. Tucker and Maldonado homer, JP France, nice start there. I believe Presley gave up something.
Okay. Well, there's the big Pena in that second game. Pena throws out Semien at home, originally called safe. They overturn it, which, one-run game. That was significant.
It was. Mitch Garver did hit the homer off of
your boy, Mitch Garver.
Yeah, off of Presley. Former teammates?
Ooh. Oh.
Nah, they didn't overlap.
Damn.
And then the third game, it was a crazy start to the game. Bregman hits the 3-run homer. Heaney hits Alvarez. And then Framber's like, well, if you hit our guy, I'm going to hit your guy. And I said it's pretty clear that Framber hit Semien on purpose, but a lot of Astros fans were like, no, bro, he didn't have control at all that game. Like, I think he's got pretty good control. Like, he might walk some people, but, like, he just dotted him up. And then there was, the back and forth between Maldonado and Semien that kind of carried over as, Texas was routing Houston at that point. Adolis Garcia hits the grand slam, and after that, there was some words exchanged. Benches cleared. I don't know why they got thrown out.
Yeah,
like for what? Like there wasn't any punches thrown, or anything like that. Like you escalate the situation a little bit by talking, so people come on the field. But I don't think there should be any people thrown out there in that situation. But chippy play, and this. I don't know. When do they play each other next? I think that's what I'm kind of curious about because this sets up for like fireworks the next time they play against each other.
I mean, we as sports fans, we get a little obnoxious about it, but you look at old Dodgers Giants games or Yanks Sox, and you're like, these guys back then they hated each other. These guys actually hated each other, and now you see it in NBA post games, like it'll be a close game, and then the guys are dapping up, and they're like, "Oh, dude, I'll see you later, bro." Like, good.
There's still some hate in the sport, but not as much.
I think it needs to build up. You need to be competitive. You need to be competing for your division, or when you see guys a lot, or you were talking about, texting your guy Flaherty and stuff. Like when you're in division teams, if you see a guy 12 times a year and you play baseball against him, and like if a guy's annoying, that'll get under your skin. Or if you're just alphas competing to win the AL West and you're the new guys in town, the Texas Rangers, and you're saying, well, we're not going to take that shit.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. The West is building up for an exciting finish. Get in the mix, Halos. Why not?
Okay. They play each other again, 3-game set, early September. Kind of anticlimactic.
Labor Day?
It's like the September 3rd, 4th, 5th or something like that.
I think that's around it.
Okay. You asked me like President's Day, Labor Day, I would.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
It's the day that moves. So.
No clue.
Ooh, President's Day.
February.
Yeah?
I think.
February popped up for me too.
It's February, yeah. I didn't know we didn't have the month.
Is that a holiday?
Of course.
Yeah. We had it off.
Houston has the series right now. They are up 6-4.
Okay. That stuff starts to matter.
Yeah, because you get the tiebreaker and all that.
Yeah.
So that'll come down. So the Rangers will have to sweep Houston to get the tiebreaker in that last series. Does that make sense, Beavers? I think it does.
Right.
Yeah.
Which happened
then it would be
last year with the Braves and the Mets.
Yeah.
Think about that, dude.
7 games to 6. Yeah, different tone on the Mets.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Chaz and what he's done. But this is I love the fireworks. I think it's awesome. Maldonado said to Semien said, "We're gonna win this game." And Molly said, "No, you're not. It's just like when you played for the A's." I thought that was a good line.
Yeah, you can.
That's a good line. But then they went to win, so then it wasn't a good line, but at the moment it was.
You can see when Simeon's walking away from Maldonado, everyone knows this feeling of like when something happens in your life and then you replay it a little bit. Simeon was full tilt, like thinking about like, what do I say to come back to that? You just see the wheels turning so hard. And he let something go at the end, but you could kind of tell he lost the war. Like he could
He's not that type of guy. He's super
like,
chill,
Maldonado had the line ready to go, and, he's circling the bases. Maldonado's got more time to think. Simeon's chirping at Framber. But that was definitely one of those, like, Simeon's in the shower later, like, thinking of better comebacks. Like, he's like, I should have hit him with,
sure. Like, he could just be like,
you're fat.
Or just been like, oh my gosh, I have so much more money than you. Like, I'm so much richer than you. That's always a good one on a baseball field.
I can't hear you, Maldonado. I'm too rich.
Yeah.
I'm too rich. The only other AL series that we've kind of already talked about in a way, but I mean, this is almost just going to become Ohtani watch in full. The Angels swept the Tigers. We kind of mentioned that in passing with Giolito. They said we're not trading away Ohtani. In fact, we're trading for Giolito and Lopez. And they come out, they sweep the Tigers, they win that first game in extra innings, and then doubleheader day. And Shohei, if we still like Jolly Olive, and I was going to give him a video idea suggestion, like the best day of baseball ever played. Because he goes complete game, one hitter, complete game shutout, one hit. And then he hits 2 homers the next game. Pulls with cramps, Trev. I've seen him reach for that back before. Don't like that. But the Angels sweep, and Shohei's quite literally the best to ever do it. Like, sorry, Randy Arozarena. I think you're out.
Now, you mentioned this as like a precursor to them being like, no, we're going to keep Shohei. And if you get swept by the Tigers, you might go the other way. Right. That's kind of crazy. I honestly don't know if that was the case. But getting the job done here, it obviously I think helped mentally for them. But this, no shots fired at the Tigers. But if you're in this position and you're the Angels, you got to go. You got to take this series, and sweeping it is a lot better. You're right about Ohtani and everything you said about him. I think Hunter Renfroe just sneaks under the radar there a lot, dude.
Because he's just the same thing.
His
numbers end up in the same spot every time. And it's good.
Yes.
Like, know what Hunter Renfroe needs? He needs a
marketing agent?
He needs a Chase Headley season. Like, he needs one season where he's just out of control, and it's like, oh, remember that year Renfroe hit 48 bangers? And then we would go back and be like, wow, he had a really good career, huh? But he just does the same thing every year.
You're going to get a high 7s, low 8s OPS. Like, you're going to get 25 to 30 homers.
He's going to throw out some guys on the bases because he's got a cannon.
You're gonna get around 50 extra base hits. Like, yeah, he's solid, dude. and you know what? He's gonna make a lot of money being solid in the big leagues.
Can play a long time that way.
I mean,
you don't want to give any love to Mariners taking 2 or 3 from my Twins.
How many animals has Hunter Renfroe? Taken down.
Where is he from? See, I don't even know where he's from. I know he has the name Hunter.
Sure
he's from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Oh.
Named Hunter Renfroe.
Oh, I didn't know he was from Mississippi.
Southeast. Plays Major League Baseball.
But does he sound like that? Have I ever heard Hunter Renfroe talk?
Hunter's his middle name.
Of course it is. All the Southern boys go by their middle name.
Dustin Hunter Renfroe? He made the right move.
Yeah. Dustin Renfroe's out of the league.
Dustin
Renfroe's his church name. So, I don't think I've ever heard him talk. Maybe I'm mistaken.
173 career homers in the show.
Whoops.
So many.
Definitely killed a lot of animals.
You're impressed by Shohei, yes or no?
I am. Hey, quickly on the Mariners Twins series. Good stuff there. Carlos Correa walk-off in the first game. But this is what I wanted to bring it up for.
Okay.
Mariners, we're trying to get them to go, right?
Yeah.
Who do they need to go? Julio Rodriguez. He starts to go a little bit this series. I think 3 homers in this series, I'm pretty sure.
He had a 2-homer day and then he homered the next day.
Yeah, so 3 homers in the series. They take 2 or 3 from the Twins. They're how many games back in the wild card right now? They are 4.5 back in the wild card. This team has all the pieces, dude. And there were some late leads going back and forth, which is you'd expect because these teams have played each other a lot recently, so you start to see guys, and the advantage goes back to the hitter a little bit.
Currently out of the playoffs in the American League. I'll do wild card only. Boston 1.5 back, Yankees 2.5 back, Angels 3 back, Seattle 4.5 back, Cleveland 5 back. If those teams want to get into the playoffs, you either need to knock out Toronto, Houston, Tampa, or Texas and Baltimore.
Who's the best team in the American League? Chris Rose always asks me that.
Chris Rose loves that question.
Yeah, he does. It's kind of a good question.
As of today or come October?
I don't know. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. That's how I'd counter Chris Rose.
With a question?
Yeah. I'd just try to throw him off for a second. Toronto.
Toronto's the best team in the American League?
No, man. I have no clue. They don't know.
I don't know either. I told him I don't know. I mean, I would say it's hard to look past Baltimore. They have the best record. They've kind of been doing it, but I still look at their starting pitching. Sorry, Gibby.
Houston.
Are they though? I don't know. It's tough. That's the whole point of the question.
That's the whole rub. National League. Reds Brewers. And this is this series, and this is a whole outlook, and you're going to get a little more brew talk in a minute. But the Brewers take 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati after they just swept Cincinnati, and they played another series.
They've owned them.
3-10?
Yes.
Are they done?
Yes.
So, think about that. Think about this Reds come up and everything they've been about, and we're, are they going to run this division now? Ellie De La Cruz should be an all-star. He's been bad for 2 weeks.
Talk about it. Talk about Ellie De La Cruz.
He's been bad for 2 weeks. Go check out the stats, because baseball's a tough sport.
Because he's a rookie.
This happens to literally everyone. The Brewers take the bread games in this. Electric first game, Yelly walk-off, Frelick first major league home run.
Yeah.
I mean, Brewer fan fiction pornography right there. And then the next 2 games, I think, are dictated by the arms. Andrew Abbott has been awesome.
Him versus Corbin Burns.
I had people saying he should be in the Cy Young race in the National League.
Okay.
And there's a funky argument, but an argument nonetheless. And then Freddy Peralta, who you might hear more about later. 6 innings pitched, 13 punchies. He had his good going that day. But in the National League Central, these two teams don't play again. It's a 1.5 lead, but this was massive for the Brewers with the momentum the Reds had going and everything, and it felt like the Brewers were spinning their tires. They have a lead in the division. They don't play again, and they kind of own them.
Think about the Brewers and what they want to do. We kind of talked about it. Defensive minded. These games right here. I mean, the Reds, who were we talked about their offense.
Yeah.
Is their calling card. They can do some things, but really when they were going on that streak, it was because they were putting up 8 runs a game. They scored 6 runs total in this series. That's the Brew Crew. That's what they do. Brewers only scored
I was going to say
9. Yeah. But it doesn't matter when you hold the other team to 6. That's their plan, dude.
Good Texas Rangers inning.
So, go Brewers, go.
I've got a lot of Brewer love coming in a little bit. Again, hopefully the Brewers are doing a little more at the deadline. Still very interested to see what Cincinnati does. You got to think there's a depth arm coming at least. If they stand pat, I really don't like that message. They could also have the biggest trade of the deadline if they flip India for something crazy. So that's the beautiful part of this season. I think, Trev, let me hit you with a Chris Rose trivia that you may have.
Oh, gosh.
And I think this leads us to our next team. There's one team in the NL Central with a positive run differential.
Cubs.
The Chicago Cubs, who are now 500, 5.5 games back of the Central. If you thought you were plucking Stroman and Belly, you better be rooting for the St. Louis Cardinals this weekend, because otherwise, the Cubs are in the mix. And think, Trev, yes! You mentioned it with the Angels. Put yourself in the Cubs front office. You're one of the people that have assembled this team. You've just won 6 straight. You're in a division that is up for grabs. You're the only team with a positive run differential. You like your team. You put this together. What do you think they're saying in their front office conversations? They're not saying, oh, what 18-year-olds can we get for Belly? I mean, they are having those conversations because you have to. That's part of the gig. They're saying, what do we need to do to win the NL Central? And part of it was winning 6 straight, and they just did that, dude. They won 2 games against the White Sox. They're now playing the Cardinals. Dansby Swanson is back. He had a big day at the office. Like, I don't know, man. I think the Cubs aren't selling.
It doesn't seem like they are. And if you kind of like look around their roster, you can not fall in love with their rotation, but you can envision a playoff rotation out of it. Stroman doing his thing. Justin Steele's been incredible. Kyle Hendricks has all the experience in the world, and he's put together a nice season here. So you got those 3 guys. I think, bullpen-wise, there's pieces, but you can definitely add there like any team can. And then, if the offense kind of clicks and you have guys continuing to do what they do, they got some work to do. There's no doubt about it. But again, there are times where it is risky to not trade these guys, but do we play the game in the future or do we play the game this year? Like, giving up on years sucks, dude.
Yeah.
It sucks. If you start trading guys away, especially when you're this close, what are they, 4 games back of a wild card?
5.5 of the Central. Yeah, I think 4.5 of wild card.
When you start doing that, like that, what message does that send, dude? And let's be real here. Without fans,
yeah,
does baseball exist?
Oh, now we're talking.
I'm being serious here.
No.
It doesn't. Like, you have to appease your fan base at certain points. You can't just keep shipping your guys away, like selling them the pipe dream of, hey, we've done it before. We've torn it down and done it before. We're going to do it again. It's like, no, you're not. Like, that doesn't happen all the time. I can name a bunch of franchises that tried that and it didn't work.
Right.
We always go back to the times it did work, but there's many examples of when it didn't.
I hate this to be their shout out on the show right now, but the Royals right now are supposed to be in their new young core. We're back, and they're one of the worst teams in baseball. So I'm sorry, Royals fans, you didn't need that, but it ain't easy.
But appease the fan base, bro.
Yeah.
What did Chicago just do around their stadium? Build a bunch of stuff so people can go spend money for them.
It's nice, by the way.
Put a casino there so you can go gamble money on their team. Give them more. It's like, you're doing all these things. Right. You got to give something to the fans. You do. And I think by doing this, obviously they're going to extend a qualifying offer to Belly. Great. So you get a draft pick. Colin Cowherd, guess what? They don't trade draft picks in the big leagues. Major League Baseball. Whatever.
I think you can trade those comp picks, but those are the only ones you can trade.
Anyways.
And that's a new thing. That's like the last 3 years you've been
able to do.
Starts with 3 firsts.
Starts with 3 firsts. You got to appease the fan base. I think the Angels and the Cubs are in a similar situation here.
They play St. Louis this weekend. I think they just won the first game. They have 3 more coming.
Oh, my gosh, that game.
Yeah.
We can't even talk about it yet, but I want to.
Know what's going to be fun? And you mentioned, the fan experience and how important that truly is to baseball and, hey, by the way, there's probably a financial equation if the Cubs sell and attendance and people going to that casino and all of that.
It's a sports book, I think.
Monday through Thursday, DraftKings. Cubs Reds at Wrigley.
Hot.
Baseball has ebbs and flows, man. That hey, those baby Reds. What are they gonna have anything added to their team by then? Because they've got Stroman and Steele lined up for those first 2 games of the Red Series. They're on a 6-game winner right now, man.
The simulation just got me.
Yeah?
You want to know why? I didn't even tell you this.
Tell me why. I love the simulation, dude. I'm all in. Like, I was half in. I'm all in on the simulation.
UFOs, whatever. Cubs. You know who was on the Cubs earlier this year? Tall, handsome, first baseman.
Mark Trumbo.
He was not on the Cubs.
Trey Mancini.
Hosmer.
Eric Hosmer, right?
Hosmer ring season.
Hot boy Hos, right?
Yeah. You love Hosmer. I forgot about
I'm
that.
Traveling back from the Yankee game.
Yeah.
And we had to take someone to the restroom. So we get back to Columbus Circle.
Okay.
Go to the mall.
One of your kids? Like, why did you phrase it like that? You?
Don't want to
my
expose.
kids. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Kids got to pee.
What does it
man.
matter? It's a part of the story.
Someone
bro.
in your family had to pee. Okay.
So we go up the escalator. You know who's coming down the escalator?
No way.
Eric Hosmer.
No way.
We dapped up. Quick little 3-second conversation. He's
Did
in
you
New
take
York.
the escalator back down?
I didn't.
Did he come up?
No, we texted afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And here we are talking about the Cubs and them going for it. I see Eric Hosmer in the city. Is it Eric Hosmer ring season?
Do it for Oz.
Also needs to be noted that Cody Bellinger, amidst trade rumors, has been the best player in baseball, not named Shohei Ohtani, this past week or so. Man, Cubbies. They wouldn't trade your guy Pete Crow Armstrong, would they? Kid's a stud.
No, he's
Kid's a stud.
He's a stud. He's not getting traded.
It's already been an interesting week in Cubs land. Winners of 6 straight. Deadline coming up. Man, if Stroman and Steele starting the Reds, dude.
How did you get here? Because that's a interleague series. We didn't really talk about this series. We're all over the place.
It's a funky ep.
I'm just trying to get structured here.
Well, now you know you've got that side tab, so you could be anywhere at any moment.
I'm learning how to use my
you can
Google
click.
Docs.
You're a bad man. Because we were doing some central. I think. What else? I don't know. Like amongst the series, I think we have to talk Boston because they are in Fuego themselves. Technically, they played 2 games against the Braves in this series, and they won both of them. Good. There was some good baseball played. Dodgers, Jays. There was some good baseball. Orioles, Phillies. But at the same time, like in this part of the season, the craving is what's coming. Is that too sexy?
I think so.
Am I too sexy right now?
Can we bleep that out in post?
On the opposite side of it, like Padres lost 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh. That I know you're going to mention them in a little bit. And something that's fun, but like if the Mets are selling, the Padres got to be selling, right?
I have no idea what the Padres are going to do. They're in a very interesting spot because they have some very interesting trade candidates. But that's up to the front office to it's how hard is it? Think about this, man. You're an owner, Paul Seiler. Everyone knows your name now.
Peter Seidler.
Peter. Paul Seiler.
Everyone knows your name.
No, this happens
That
because
happens. Peter and Paul.
USA
Those are very
Baseball.
similar
No,
names.
there's a guy named Paul Seiler for USA Baseball that happens all the time. Shout out, Paul.
We love Paul.
I genuinely forget
I'm
if your
sorry.
middle name is Peter or Paul or
Me?
Patrick.
Patrick, yeah.
The P names, you get a little excuse.
My middle
We
name's
know
Paul.
Peter Seiler, right?
Yes, very well.
Because he went out and blew the free agency world away.
San Diego, baseball city.
Invested it into his team because the fans were showing up, investing into the club, right? So very, very lofty expectations this year. Right now, it ain't happening. 10 games back of the West. 6.5 back of the wild card. It's difficult after you get all that praise and love going into the season to now, at the end of July, say, dang, we're done. And we're gonna sell our best pitcher and some other pieces as well and give up on the season. It's hard to make that call. It makes you look foolish. Baseball. And I don't think they want to look foolish. I would be surprised, man. I'd be surprised if they ended up selling Blake Snell. I would. And it might happen before the show even goes out onto air. But right? I would be surprised if they did.
Their next couple games, I think, dictated, because I just did the wearing shoes game. Still have the bra ad up. My God. San Diego plays Texas this weekend. Like, if Texas gives them the business, because if I'm San Diego, being in that front office, I think I would be a stand pat guy. Like, hey, man, we put all this together. You guys either figure it out. Like, we didn't sell. We could have. We can't add because you guys gave us no reason to add. You guys are in it together. If you swim, awesome, cool. If you sink, that's on you guys. Like, look around. But also, God, if they get the work from Texas this weekend, then I don't know. Then I think you do sell. And that's 3 games.
I don't see it happening. I don't. Has Blake Snell received a qualifying offer yet?
No.
Did he just run with it?
Fuck, man.
You have to.
Fuck.
I know, I say that, and the Mets are basically in the same boat as the Padres. Same situation where you spend a bunch of money, and they're started to sell.
Right. Same record.
And Steve Cohen, same thing. We all know his name.
Yeah. God,
he guaranteed a World Series within five years.
Both of those teams, man. That's bad. Can we talk some Boston Red Sox?
Hot.
Give them some love?
I want to. I definitely want to. They are, and I don't think I'm giving an award or a standout to them, so we can kind of go into it. They are a little bit of what we expected. Okay, we like the offense going into the year. I think you got to love the offense as it's turned out as of right now. They have a nice mixture of veterans and young guys doing it right now. I think, the Tristan Casas, what he's been doing has been great.
Tristan Casas, look at his season stat line now.
Duran has been great. Corbin Carroll light.
Careful.
Yoshida has been incredible. And remember, they got a lot of shit for signing him.
Yeah.
People were like, whoa, what's he going to do? WBC was great. Cold start to the year. Everyone was pointing fingers, laughing. Chaim Bloom says, just wait. He's going to have an 878 OPS at the end of July. He looks like the real deal. I think Connor Wong has given them, right around league average production.
Those stats for a catcher.
Are very nice, right?
Good.
You bring in Justin Turner, you don't miss a beat there. He's going off. So offensively, I think they've been better than I expected. I thought that would be their strong point on their team, but they've surpassed my expectations for them. They're a top 5 offense in the league, any way you slice it. So you got that. Now, we talked about the bullpen. They did a lot to address it in the offseason.
Yeah.
Bullpen's been fine. Bullpen has been, that's not an area of need necessarily for them. The rotation, this is where things get a little bit interesting because we talked about it a lot. Like, man, I'm not sure. There's some old guys there. Like, how's that going to look? Bayo, who, you got to mention him. You talk about the Red Sox rotation. He's their guy. So you got him going off. You got Paxton doing his thing. Cutter Crawford been a nice back of the rotation piece. You got Houck and Whitlock coming back. How they're going to use them, I don't know.
Yeah.
They've kind of, been all over the place there. But if those guys are right, they give you a nice depth, back of the rotation type arm. Sometimes a little bit better than that. Chris Sale, he's not coming back at all, is he?
You never know with Chris Sale. I feel like I see tweets about him throwing, but
Okay. You have enough in that rotation to get the job done. Pavetta's kind of been that like swing guy for them. He's been pitching very well as of late. We're going to mention him a little bit later in the show. So if the pitching holds up, like this is a scary team, dude. Like the people aren't going to want to face in the playoffs.
My analytics binder all year. Hit. You figure out the rest. Dude, some of the names you just mentioned. Jarren Duran wasn't on Red Sox fans' maps this year. Yoshida, we didn't know what it would look like. Casas.
People were optimistic about Duran and Casas, no doubt. They've surpassed those expectations.
Casas is now with a good couple weeks, has turned into a 23-year-old, looking like future of first base for a while. That this team bangs, and Paxton has given them an awesome 12 starts. Bayo has been great. And yet the Chris Sale, I just Googled Chris Sale. He said he threw live BP. He's open at any role. And dude, if I could tell you the one thing that makes me the most jealous about the Red Sox,
okay,
that attitude.
Love the attitude.
Because the Yanks don't have that, man.
The Yankees are soft, bro.
The Yankees are built on, like, if you're an MLB veteran, like, you kind of get to call your shots, man. Like, dude, the Red Sox, Piv, go throw 6 out of the pen, kid.
Full pension, Piv? You're telling him to do that?
You might get the start next week, too. I don't know. We want to win baseball games, and that's what they've done in June. They're 14-5 after being 500. And this is a great case of, in baseball, there's a couple tricks. This is my analytics binder. You can go 500 for
If I don't like this, I'm going to shoot you.
You can go 500 for 4 of the months. If you have 2 good months, you're a playoff team. You're a 90-plus win playoff team. Survive the road, go 500 on the road, win at home. The Boston Red Sox, they've done that as well.
Hot.
They're 500 on the road. They're 30-21 at home or something like that. Man, there's some basic stuff in this game that travels through the years. The Sox have it, and you want to talk an interesting deadline. Very interested to see what they do.
Hey, guess what? Trevor Story's coming back, too.
Trevor Story's coming back.
To add on to an offense that's 4th in OBP, 6th in OPS, 6th in runs. They're top 6 in baseball. I said top 5.
Just a reminder. Going back to all of our Go Angels go, my Yanks.
Out.
I mean, that's without barely mentioning the Mariners that, this season was supposed to be a go year. Woo, no, it's getting hot.
It's a funky app.
It's getting hot. I think
who have we not mentioned? The Phillies Baltimore series. We're over it.
We're over it, dude. Like, congrats, Phillies.
Alec Boehm walk-off single.
Both of you, I'm a lot more interested in next week.
Dodgers took down. Yeah, right. Jays took down the Dodgers. Awesome.
We're learning.
I care so much about those 4 teams' deadline moves, so much more than the series that took place, and so do their fans, if we're being honest.
Shout out Colton Cowser.
Hot.
Tie-breaking double in the 9th.
Don't.
And throw out the potential go-ahead run in the 8th. They win 3-2, and then the Phillies, nice answer back in the series. Alec Boehm did his thing.
Can I tell you about Shady Rays?
Yeah, go ahead. Love it.
Maybe the coolest thing I have going for me, signature pair of Sunnies.
Pretty sick. And I'm kind of jealous.
They're good shades.
Just moves on for me for Tyler Glasnow or something. I think, in my bios, it would be like, hey, signature sunglasses. I don't know. Go check them out. Shady Rays.
What?
They are the absolute best in the game.
Girls love sunglasses, you know.
Oh,
that.
like if you were single, that's what you'd put in your bio to attract a new wife after Jess left you?
If she left me for Glass now, which might be in play come December.
You're right.
Fuck. Let's get back to Shady Rays because I wear them every day. Me and Jom have signature glasses, and they've got anything else you could be looking for sunglass-wise. Premium polarized shades at an affordable price, durable frames, extremely clear optics. That's important. We need to get these on like Ian Happ or something. We need to get like game shades going.
Okay.
Or shit, Glass now. He's a pitcher. He could wear them.
Steal your wife, steal your Shady Rays deal. That's tough, bro. Why did you bring that up?
Jess and your glasses going on glass.
They have their lost and broken replacement guarantee. I'm going to text Jess. I miss her.
Babe, miss you.
I love you.
Just double check where she's at.
Go to Shady Rays. Oh, she's in Florida. God damn it. Go to ShadyRays.com. Use code Talkin. 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades. If you guys haven't gotten Shady Rays yet, I don't know what you're doing. Like
it's the most straight up.
They've
deal.
become like part of the fabric of our company. It's a great deal. They're lost and broken. I'm torn up. I'm texting Jess. Go click the link. Get yourself some. I miss you, girl.
Not Tampa, right?
She said she was in the Keys. Didn't respond to my text earlier.
I have no service, babe.
Hope you're having fun.
Location turned off.
I miss you. That's really weird. She always has her location on. Standout performance.
We're here, baby. We made it. Hey, wait. Shout out to the Giants sweeping against the A's. Alex Cobb, nice start. Mike Yastrzemski doing it. Shout out. Standout performances.
You mentioned this guy earlier, but I want you to continue to taste this guy.
Oh, my God.
He might have changed the fabric of the AL West.
Well,
Like that phrasing?
I do. I'm going to go with Chas McCormick.
Yes.
For what he did against Aroldis Chapman, who gave the Yankee fans just bad vibes. Always love when that happens. Ooh. Although Yankee fans were really nice to me when I went to the stadium.
Did you get some love?
I got a lot of love.
Good.
Yeah, that was nice.
Good.
2 for 3 with a double, a homer, and 6 ribbies in the game on Monday night. He also had a walk, scored the run on the homer.
6 ribbies.
6 ribbies.
What was your high? 5, 6?
I don't know. I would say 5 sounds about right.
Because you had a couple slams, so if you got that.
Might have had 6. I don't know. That's a good question.
BD?
Maybe he'll check it out. This guy has taken the center field job and said it's mine. This is what I'm doing. And if you look back, 26, 27, and 21 and 22, 107 OPS plus, 110 OPS plus for a center fielder.
It's really
we
nice.
talk about like he was
Covers
doing a
ground
good job
too.
Yeah,
remember that catch? Like
this year, Jakey boy,
read the numbers.
890 OPS for a 143 OPS plus. This dude he has 13 homers this year. His previous high 14. He's going to surpass that. 42 ribbies. Previous high, 50. He's going to surpass that. He's got 11 swipes on the year. The 367 OBP. He's doing everything right. And like I said, he's still pre-arb, right? Yeah, he's making league minimum this year. This is these freaking Astros, dude. These freaking Astros. Just do it. 2-8 WAR on Baseball Reference WAR on the year. He's having just a really, really good time. He's from Pennsylvania, which I always like when like a random Northeastern guy just kind of does it. He's down in Houston now. He probably has a cowboy hat if I had to guess. Yeah. Probably some boots on as well. I'm into it, man. And I think I don't know if I challenged him or we talked about them trading for Luis Robert, but he's gone off, especially as of late. He's been just incredible for them. So I wanted to give him a shout out. In his last 28 days, he's 1 dot in it. He's 3-4, almost 7ing it in the last 28 days. So shout out Chas McCormick. Keep doing your thing, man. He's hitting righties. He's hitting lefties. He's won dotting against lefties this year, which is also always a great thing to be able to do. Snaps, bro. Standout.
You mentioned, I think you mentioned Luis Robert. It was fun. It was like Astros, crack
Still
super team. Why not? Luis Robert OPS 875.
He ain't shit.
Chas McCormick 890. What?
Yeah.
What? So yeah, he's a guy. My goodness.
When you have, guys making league minimum, $750,000, putting up production like this, that's everything that you want as an organization.
Can I take a little jab at my Yankees and how bad it's been?
Okay. Yeah.
Yankee fans are really happy with Gleyber Torres right now because he's been their most consistent hitter. Yankee fans are please don't trade Gleyber. He's been our only really offense. Please don't trade Gleyber.
He can be part of next year.
He has a 766 OPS.
I'm laughing. I never had an OPS that high. So.
You were around there. That vaunted 2014
I don't
season.
think I ever was.
But
751.
I was productive in other ways, guys, defensively.
Chas McCormick is fucking balling out. Great standout, Trev. Careful.
I think I can do that.
Video canceled. I'm going another way with it.
Trevor's career high 5 RBIs, grand slam off of John Danks. And the next inning, you took Scott Carroll up the middle, drove in Mauer.
Scott Carroll, nice name right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The inning before that, Mike Pelfrey hit back-to-back batters with the bases loaded.
Love that for Mike.
Pelf, get out of here, dude.
Strongest guy I've ever met in my life.
Then Ryan Presley came in.
Not that you think about it.
Great names in that set.
Yeah.
Freddy Peralta.
Hot.
We've been highlighting a lot of the hitters. Freddie P, playoff P, 6 innings pitch, 13 Ks. Oh, you're sick. 6 innings pitched, 13 Ks, 0 earned runs, 0 walks. We touched on, limited series this ep. A lot of trades going on. We talked Brewers Reds. And if Freddie P doesn't do that on the last day, we would be saying the Reds are a half game back. That was a huge game for them. We talk about dropping it on the table. Freddie P, the guy that joined the law firm. Talkin Baseball Real Ones will remember that. Massive start by him that's now turning into a massive season. He's 27 years old. You forget, Freddie P been doing it for a little bit now. Him and Corbin Burns, if we start getting into playoff season, how's your 1-2? How's your 1-2-3? Burns and Peralta are going to have a pretty good argument. Stroman and Steele. You can bop around and do the whole thing, but Freddie P.
Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan.
They're good. They're good. I got no qualms with them. Freddy Peralta, the ERA isn't as pretty as you'd like, but I think I can butter knife that pretty good. 2 of his last 3 have been 6 innings shutout. If he gets hot down the stretch for the Crew, watch out for them. Yeah.
Shout out.
Couple snaps for Fred. Trev, a lot of guys got robbed. Cade Marlowe's big 2-for-3 game ended up on the list. Alan Trejo has been hot since he's come back. But there's some guys that are really
dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby.
What do you want to smoke?
Like Waco.
Where's my piece of chalk, bro? All right. For this series, we talked about this guy a little bit. He's got to go for Seattle. Julio Rodriguez against my Twins. Oh, my goodness. 6 for 15, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 4 ribbies. Need to put guys on base in front. I think they dropped him down to 5th in the order. Pretty sure that happened. Interesting stat here Dalton has. Solo homer on Wednesday was the first of his career in an 0-2 count. After entering the finale, I don't know what.
Okay.
This is. Don't worry about that. Just know that he had a really good series, 6 for 15, 400 average, 3 homers, 4 ribbies. Bo Bichette, honestly, he's probably like my third favorite player in the big leagues. 7 for 12, a double, a homer, 5 RBI, 2 runs, a walk for a 1.5 OPS. He's leading the league in hits. Of course he is. And he's had 14 3-hit games this season. That's a joke. How about Andrew Kisner? For the St. Louis Cardinals, 4 for 11. 3 homers.
Okay.
6 ribbies for a 1.5 in the series. Now, for the week, we got some fun guys on this one here. Colorado starting pitcher Peter Lambert. 2 games, 11 innings pitched, only 6 hits in those 11 innings. No earned runs, 2 walks for the 0 ERA, .73 whip. He lost almost the last 3 seasons to TJ. From 2020 to 2023, he's thrown 51 innings, man.
That's got to feel.
45 this year. That's amazing. So snaps for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Shout out Peter Lambert. I love that. Chicago Cubs reliever. Oh, man. Adbert Alzolay. I always forget it's lay or lie. It's lie?
I think so.
Adbert Alzolay. 4 games, 4 saves, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs.
It's important.
No walks.
It's important to a win streak.
Love that for you. Keep the Cubbies in that. Snaps for him. And then, this is like another top 5 player for me. San Diego infielder, utility guy, moving all over the place. Ha-Seong Kim. He goes 9 for 22 with a double, 3 homers, 4 RBIs. He homered twice for San Diego on Monday.
Read that next line.
It's the first multi-homer game of his career. He's tied for the highest B-WAR of all the position players in Major League Baseball this season with Ronald Acuna Jr. This guy is a menace. What are his stats, his offensive stats on the year? I'm going to get it up now.
I'm going to give you my simulation.
Okay.
Padres stand pat at the deadline.
He has an 810 OPS. What the freak?
Passionate speech in the Padres locker room.
Oh.
Hey, we're doing this. We're going. Padres get hot. They have the best August we've ever seen. They go undefeated like the Rays did. Ha-Seong Kim MVP talk happening.
He's going to get votes.
Tied for the highest WAR with Rackham.
Is this the best contract in the big leagues right now?
Of guys that are on...
forget.
For guys that have signed free agent contracts, yes.
I mean, Acuna's up there.
Yeah, not bad either. Because I was your Chas McCormick example before, if he's making the minimum. But yeah.
He signed a 4-year, $28 million deal.
If you told Padre fans Ha-Seong Kim would have the highest WAR come the trade deadline.
Padre fans would be like, okay.
And then you told them you might be selling. I think that would have been confusing.
That's a good one, yes.
I think that would have been
the mutual option for 2025. He's been a light bat his entire career, but the defense has played. He can swipe some bags. Although he's got 19 this year, 37 career. So he's doubled what he had before.
He picked up the new rules.
14 Jimmy Jacks. This guy's having a career year. I'm all for it. That's awesome, man. So snaps for him. For the 2 weeks, this is when it gets fun, people. Yeah. Nick Pivetta, 3 games, 12 innings pitched in those 3 games. Love that. That's so hilarious. 3 hits, no runs, only 3 walks, a .5 whip. He's faced 41 batters over the last 2 weeks and has induced more double plays, 1, than extra base hits allowed, 0. That's nice. So, Austin, you got your boy Full Pension doing it. I love it. I love where they're at, man. In the weeds. Cody Bellinger, speaking about weed. He does. It's just the way he looks, people. He's not high all the time.
He doesn't touch the stuff.
Never. 21 for 53, 2 doubles, 6 homers, 17 ribbies, 11 runs. Oh, my gosh. He didn't hit a homer in 102 plate appearances during May and June. He's hit 8 in July. Whoops. And the last guy on my list here, second baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals, Nolan Gorman, 14 for 42, 3 doubles, 5 homers, 13 ribbies, 9 runs for a 1.1er over that span. And that, my friends, is Susan Fuego.
Trev. Powerful.
Doesn't touch the stuff.
No, can't.
No.
He's in the show.
Give it to me.
What are you doing for lunch?
Starving.
I'm starving.
This is what happens to me every day.
Yeah.
I just never get to eat because I'm working.
Like right now, this part of the show, I normally like order something, and I don't know.
I may or may not have poured a Blue Moon into this coffee cup because I need calories.
May not. Like, do you want to order lunch? Anyways.
Ooh, I want a sushi burrito from the place across the street.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
We
going to
can
do
do
that.
that. Now I'm not ordering lunch. I'm ordering the IL segment.
Hots.
Chris Bryant. I know there was some like faux trade rumors around him. I guess that's probably out. Jesse Winker goes on the IL as long as Aaron Hicks. Bad week to be an outfielder, I guess. Kurt Casale, no. But returning from the IL, Adam Wainwright.
Shout.
Go save the season, kid. Ramon Laureano, sheesh. I know he had some trade rumors. Yohan Moncada goes down. Or no, these are the guys that are back. Let's go. Excuse me. The IL segment. Just not who I am. Merrill Kelly is back. Let's go Snakes. And then you might have heard of these two in Houston. Yordan and Altuve came back. That team.
Whoops.
Kyle Tucker, Chas McCormick. Watch out for them down the stretch. And hey, there might be a big fella back who's got a banged up toe. I wish I could be more.
By the time this is out, hopefully
I
tweet from an account.
I
is
wish
out
I
there.
could confirm it more, but a certain organization is kind of weird about injuries. Aaron Judge. Trev, it brings us to
awards.
I miss Kelsey.
I texted with Kelsey a
It's
little
the
bit
vibes,
other
Kels.
day.
Got to be honest with you.
What were we talking about?
She radiates positivity.
She does. She sent me a Heyman tweet.
Nice.
Trev.
I am giving the Robin Big Award. Now, I think most people will know what I'm talking about, but for those who don't,
Some of the kids might not, huh?
go check it out. So, Robin Big, it's a reality show that was, I believe, on MTV. Rob Dyrdek, the professional skateboarder turned entrepreneur.
The kids probably know Ridiculousness. I don't know
Ridiculousness,
if they like it or
host
not.
of Ridiculousness. He is a motivational guy on his Instagram. Just honestly, Rob Dyrdek is he's a good person, like in a good person to follow. Like he's made a lot from a little.
No, Rob Dyrdek was really good at.
You and Rob Dyrdek have a lot of similarities. How about that?
So does Jimmy. Like Rob Dyrdek hits a lot of chords with people of having fun and pushing the limit, but knowing the limit.
Not disrespectful ever.
Yes.
There's where you guys differ a little bit. You disrespect me on a daily basis.
Him and John Mayer, I think they went to the club with their moms or something
Love that,
because
yeah.
John Mayer,
Patricia.
he was in a single streak and like getting into trouble a little bit, so they were like, "Hey, we need to tone it down."
Let me get back to my award. Rob and his bodyguard, Christopher Boykin, Big Black, as he was known, started the show Robin Big. It only went for 3 seasons, turned into Fantasy Factory. But it was a show about like an unlikely friendship forming. And, the juxtaposition of them next to each other was really funny. It's like a massive dude next to like a little skateboarder. And there was just skits and just like a real fun time. Now, unfortunately, Big Black has passed away. He had some heart problems. So R.I.P. Big Black. He was in my childhood. It was like one of the more fun shows. Like I didn't really watch a lot of reality TV, but this was more just like fun. Right?
Yeah.
There is another unlikely duo that has formed that is also very entertaining to watch. And I would 100% watch a reality show with these two on it.
Okay.
Blake Snell and Gary Sanchez have formed a powerhouse duo down in San Diego. Now, I think it was May 29th, Gary Sanchez gets claimed off waivers. And we're like, what's going on with that? What do we need? Some offense? What are we looking for here? He basically has become Blake Snell's personal catcher.
Yeah.
Typically, I'm not a personal catcher guy.
Sure.
I do understand that some guys, like I remember when I pitched, like you go to some of these showcases. I'm talking like high school ball. It's been a while for me, but I remembered this. You go to some of these showcases and you're throwing to some of these catchers you've never thrown to. You don't like it.
Yeah.
Like some guys you might like. Some guys you're like, dude, this doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. I actually talked to Pete Mackey, Twins pitching coach, about that. I said, how much does that really matter? He's like, dude, it still matters a lot. So it's really important to have people that you're comfortable throwing to. Do you want to know what, since May 29th, what Blake Snell has done with Gary Sanchez?
What's that, Trev?
Now I've lost it. I had it all up. How do I get that back?
God, you teed it up so well.
Oh, I got it, guys. Okay. May 31st, he started the game against the Miami Marlins. His ERA was sitting at a 5.38. Okay? Since that day, he started 11 games, 64 innings pitched, 34 hits, 5 earned runs in 5 runs, not just earned runs, 5 runs in 64 innings pitched. He's got a .7 ERA, a 157 batting average against, 469 OPS against. He's allowed only 2 homers in that time. He struck out 93 batters. This is with Gary Sanchez catching. It's an unlikely duo. Blake Snell went from a 5.38. Excuse me, it was a 5.04 ERA before that. He's now down to a 3.7 on the year with Gary Sanchez. I just think it's a remarkable story about 2 unlikely people getting together, providing entertainment for the masses. It really reminded me of Robin Biggs, so I wanted to make the connection. Shout out Blake and Gary. Blake and Gary forever.
Blake and Gary forever. And Trev, there was a lot there, and it was all beautiful. And BBD mentioned it beforehand. Gary Sanchez, awesome numbers against Blake Snell.
Yes.
Hitting wise.
Yeah. 6 for 21, 5 homers,
5
and a double.
jacks.
8 walks.
Do you think there's something there, either pitch mix wise, or I don't know about tipping wise, or just blind luck, or maybe just a good matchup? I guess that happens. Or do you think there's something that Gary can see from Snell that he's like, hey, don't do that?
Probably a little bit of everything you just said. Some guys you just see the ball better against.
Yeah.
And it's just like their arm slot, their motion lines up with your motion. But yeah, like having success against the pitcher obviously means you see them well. And Gary behind the plate, number one, he doesn't have to face Gary Sanchez anymore, so that's good.
Yeah.
And number two, yeah, he's able to put the right fingers down or press the right buttons now. But it's incredible the turnaround in the season that has happened for Blake Snell. And guess what? In a fucking contract year, Gary Sanchez, Blake, you better buy him a nice watch when you sign that fucking deal. Didn't you call $200 million for old Blake?
There's a lot of ways to look at a free agent, and I'll tell you what, a 30-year-old free agent with a career ERA around 3.3.
You're going to get paid.
20 career WAR and potentially 2 Cy Youngs in the bag.
I love that Blake Snell's going to get paid like this. I love it.
I'm not saying Snell's going to win the Cy Young, but I will say this. He has gotten better in every second half of his MLB career. Go look at every season. And in the first half of this season, he was 18 starts with a 2.85. The 3 starts since, a 1.13 ERA. If Blake Snell is better than his first half, which he has been every season, he has a really good chance to win the Cy Young. And I did take him in our Cy Young draft, and it got some laughs.
Love that.
Because sometimes
I like the pick.
Because sometimes Snell can be a tough watch. He will bounce some balls.
$51 million already. Blake Snell is going to be a quarter of a billionaire. And I love it. He's an incredible person, fun to be around.
You know who probably likes Rob Dyrdek?
Blake Snell?
Blake Snell.
I could see that. I'm going to hook them up.
He does.
I'm going to hook them up.
Those guys would vibe, man.
Golly.
Great award, Trev. I'm going to give out the Name Your Dog or Name Your Baby award.
Okay.
Because I mentioned this and I said it's going to be a big Brew Crew episode for me. I gave my standout to Freddy Peralta. They handled their business against the Reds recently. The first game against the Reds, Sal Frelick. Legit prospect, Boston College. People are calling him, Vinny Rotino 2.0. Sal Frelick, who has a big potential role to helping the Brewers win this Central. He hits his first career home run. Yes.
Yeah.
Ties the game 2-2. End of the game. Christian Yelich. Walk-off. Got that big contract. Milwaukee says he's our guy. He's here. I mean, people have dreamed up Yelly trade rumors because his play kind of declined a little bit from his MVP times. He's back. He's been balling. He's a big part of the Brewers' success this year, kind of carrying them offensively. In the greater Milwaukee area, I bet there's a lot of dogs named Yelich, Yelly. If my guy Sal Frelick starts hitting, keeps hitting, we might see some dogs, we might see some babies, some Sals, some Frelicks. I don't know. If this kid clicks.
You think people are making love because Sal Frelick actually, isn't it?
No, we thought it was Frelick, but the announcer said Frelick.
That's right. I got him backwards. You think
Baseball
people are
references
watching
Frelick.
People are watching Sal saying, "Honey, this guy's made me horny."
It's not happening yet, but Trev, the important part of that is Christian Yelich has.
This is what you just did with Sal?
Christian Yelich has made them in the past couple years. There's been some lovemaking because of Christian Yelich.
Yeah.
That if they win the Central and Frelick's a guy, I don't know. Watch out. Oh, what's your new puppy's name?
How about the freshman? Do you think Sal was watching that being like, what the
Jelly Weimer. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
I lost you on that.
I'm struggling to get there, but I like the idea of puppies and making love.
I'm just saying, Sal Frelick. You keep balling out, we're changing animals and babies' names up there.
Sal's a great dog name.
Yeah, or if you're Italian, it's just a great name.
It's a good name for people. That's one of those
It's a Salvatore.
names
And Sal will lick you for free.
Don't like it. He slices his garlic razor thin.
Oh, I forgot you're having a nice Italian dinner tonight. Maybe.
Hopefully.
Nikki Cass. I got a funny bad story I'll end it with. Nikki Cass, friends with Logan O'Hoppe.
He name drops. He name drops more than anyone.
He does. But I half got, and this is my apology to Nikki. Nikki Cass, we're in the warehouse yesterday, and he goes, he mentions the Angels, and he's like, how about Trey Cabbage getting called up and hitting a little bit? And me, just assuming, I was assuming Nikki was kind of just name dropping, or I was like, oh, is Trey Cabbage another Northeast guy? Like, him in O'Hoppe or something? He was just like, no. Nikki Cass was trying to tell me that he knows ball a little bit, that he had been seeing Trey Cabbage.
He saw a new
So that's
Angels
my
game.
bad. That's my bad. I wasn't familiar with your game.
On 3, does Nikki Cass know ball? 1, 2, 3. No.
It's amusing.
No chance.
I feel bad.
You're funny, though.
He's funny.
I'll
Great
give you
swing.
that.
He knows
pretty
playing
swing.
ball. He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
I suck.
I like Nicky
Monday?
Cass. I like you.
Who knows what we're talking
Monday
about?
I'll be still on
Monday.
on the beach, so we'll see how that works out for us.
Ooh.
Ian Happ didn't do it on purpose. Michaelis did it on purpose.
It was Hap's
It's
normal
like back to
swing.
back.
Jack Flaherty wants to fight everything.
I think Hap's
He's
gonna
corny.
hit him.
Dodger outfit.